Ano nga ba ang genetic engineering? Ano ang mga benepisyo ng mga genetically modified organisms? Tara, tuklasin po natin yan dito sa video ito. Good day everyone! Welcome to my learning channel, Sir Fox Learning Channel. At kung bago ka pa lang sa channel na ito, hopefully wag mong makalimutang i-subscribe at i-hit ang notification bell all ng YouTube channel na ito upang maging updated ka sa mga susunod ko pong video lessons. Today, pag-aaralan po natin, tutunghayan po natin kung ano nga ba ang genetic engineering at ano ang mga benefits ng genetically modified organism. Ito po ay nakabase sa module 24 and 23 ng Earth and Life Science for grade 11 senior high school distance learners. Happy learning everyone!
Okay, ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon ay patungkol po sa genetic engineering and the benefits of genetically modified organism. Ano nga ba ang genetic engineering? Ano nga ba yung benefits ng mga genetically modified organisms? Umpisa po muna natin kung ano yung genetic engineering. Pero bago yan, ito po muna yung ating learning target sa video ito. Una, define genetic engineering. So, alamin po natin, ano nga ba yung genetic engineering? Describe the techniques in genetic engineering as based on the situation given. So, learners, viewers are expected to describe what are the techniques in genetic engineering as based on the situation given. Appreciate the third one is appreciate the role of genetic engineering in human life. So ano kaya yung role ng genetic engineering sa human race? Then classify the situation given as a benefit or risk in using genetic modified organism. So may risk kaya or kung meron man, ano kaya yung mga risk? And express one's perception in the use of genetic modified organism or genetically modified organism. Now, what is genetic engineering? Anybody? So I have here a picture of DNA. Picture of DNA. So what can you analyze on this picture of DNA? Most probably, sasabihin mo, Sir, mayroon pong part ng DNA na tinanggal. Bakit kaya tinanggal yung part na yan? Ano kaya yung kinalaman nito sa genetic engineering? Alamin po natin. Pag sinabi po nating genetic engineering, it is the direct manipulation of an organism's genes using biotechnology. So pag sinabi po nating biotechnology, a technology na ginagawa ng mga biologists sa mga microorganisms, sa living organisms. So direct manipulation of an organism's gene using biotechnology. Or it is a process of altering the structure of a DNA molecule by substituting genes from another DNA molecule. So, pag sinabi po natin genetic engineering, altering the structure of DNA. So we have here our DNA sample in the picture. You will notice here na mayroon pong inalter na structure. Tinanggal na structure, not for good, pero isa-substitute siya ng another DNA molecule na gusto mo i-substitute. Okay, kaya nga genetic engineering, direct manipulation of organisms genes. So gusto mong trait na magkaroon yung isang organism, papalitan mo yung part ng DNA, i-alter mo, papalitan mo ng panibagong part. So it covers different kinds of technologies used to alter the genomes. That includes the insertion of genes from the individual, either the same or from different species, that aims to produce or improve products. Yun po yun. Covers different kinds of technologies that used to alter genomes. So yung genomes ng DNA i-alter at mag-i-insert ng panibagong genes from other individual, either the same or from different species, na gusto mong i-produce para ma-improve yung isang organism, ma-improve yung race ng isang organism. So that's how genetic engineering is. Now, ano yung mga techniques in genetic engineering? So, alamin po natin, ano nga ba yung mga techniques sa genetic engineering in altering the part of DNA? So, sabi nga sa pag-aaral, even yung mga previous centuries pa, mayroon ng genetic engineering na nagaganap. Tinatawag itong breeding. Breeders choose when organism to mate and produce offspring with desirable traits. It's basic genetic engineering by breeding. Kung saan yung isang organism i-make mo sa ibang offspring, syempre parehas yung nila DNA, para magkaroon lang ng desirable traits. And then sa ganitong proseso, they maintain this procedure without control of what genes can be passed. Selective breeding is a process when animals with desired characteristics are mated to produce offspring with those desired traits, such as Angus cows are bred to increase more meat. So usually sa mga animals, yung mga breeding, halimbawa sa naalala ko dati, may kalabaw kami. We have a carabao na ordinary carabao lang, at ang ginawa para magkaroon ng mas malakas daw, pinamate sa isang buffalo. So that's breeding. So nung nagkaroon ng anak, makikisig na yung mga naging anak ng kalabaw po namin na ordinary. So maintain procedures without control of what genes can be passed. Then selective breeding is a process when animals with desired characteristics are mated to produce offspring with those desired traits. Sa pang naalala ko po dito, yung mga sabungero sa amin, kung saan yung kanilang mga inahing manok pinapamate ng mga Texas na manok para yung result half Texas, matapang din. So another breeding. process or technique of genetic engineering. Another thing is hybridizations, in which hybridizations are when two individuals with unlike characteristics are crossed to produce the best in both organisms, like the disease-resistant in potato called the Bourbon potato. So cross hybridizations. So another technique of genetic engineering. May tinatawag din na inbreeding, in which it is a technique of breeding organisms that are genetically similar to maintain desired traits found in the pure dog breeds. So sa mga dogs, inbreeding. Now, as defined, genetic engineering is the process of changing the DNA in living organisms to create something new. So, genetic engineering, process of changing DNA in living organism to create something new. Kaya nga engineering, process of altering or the process of changing the DNA. So, you will alter some part in the DNA para magkaroon ng panibagong traits na desire mo. It involves artificial manipulation, modification, ito po yung mga process ng genetic engineering, recombination of DNA or other nucleic acid molecules to modify an organism or population of organism. So, sa genetic engineering, pwedeng pong artificial manipulation, usually ginagawa na yan ngayon, modification or recombination of DNA or other nucleic acid molecules to modify an organism, a population of organism. So, ito po yung DNA recombination. Pag sinabi po nating DNA recombination, it is the process where a DNA fragment, I think katulad nung ginawa dun sa picture kanina, from an organism is inserted. So, may tinanggal, may insert. So, recombination. In a bacteria's DNA. The bacteria replicates the DNA, causing mass production of desired gene. Here are the steps. Ito po yung steps ng DNA recombination. Kung saan, yung DNA fragment from an organism i-insert sa isang bacteria's DNA. Tapos si bacteria na yung magre-replicate ng DNA na yun. Mag-produce. Una, you can just cut DNA anywhere. Could cause damage. Hindi pwedeng kung saan-saan lang mag-cut ng DNA. May mga special DNA sequences called restriction sites where restriction enzymes cut the DNA into desired fragments. So may mga restriction sequence or sites or enzymes na kung saan doon ka lang pwedeng mag-alter ng part ng DNA. Hindi basta-basta mong ikakat yan. Once you have cut genes, you will place the genes in specific bacterial DNA called plasmids. So, nakat mo na, for example, nakat mo na yung gene from the DNA. So, ang ikakat mo doon lang daw sa restriction site or the restriction enzyme. At ilalagay mo na sa bacterial DNA na tinatawag na plasmids. Dahil syempre yung bacteria ay madami yan in nature. Yung bacteria now will replicate that DNA. The bacteria will turn the DNA into protein So, yun po yung gagawin ni bacteria sa DNA, gagawin niyang protein. Markers will be used to determine the process most probably successful or GLOW or RA. Example, a human growth hormone gene is transformed into plasmid. Bacteria then mass produces HGH for human consumption. So, tingnan po natin itong illustration. Ayan po. Ito po yung human gene or cell. Siyempre may DNA. Nandito po yung, let's assume na nandito po yung restriction enzyme. So, dito ngayon magpuputol ng restriction ay ng gene sa restriction enzyme. At yung restriction enzyme na yan, nilagay po natin sa, or yung gene na yan na kinat po natin from the human DNA cell, nilagay po natin sa bacterium or tinatawag na plasmid. Sa plasmid ngayon, since bacterium enzyme yun, si plasmid or si bacterium will reproduce the gene. Sabi nga dito sa natin, ang gagawin ni bacteria will turn the DNA to protein, and then the bacteria will replicate a lot of that fragment gene na tinanggal mo dun sa human cell. So, ayan po yung nangyari. So, yung gene na kinat mo from the restriction enzyme, nilagay mo sa bacterium or the plasmid. And then, si bacterium ngayon will replicate that gene hanggang dun sa desired niya. Will replicate a lot. So, ito po yung replication na nangyari. From 1, into 2. Yung dalawa, nag-replicate ulit. Yung dalawa, nag-replicate ulit ng tigda-dalawa. So, ganun po yung nangyari. So, this is a human growth hormone gene in which transform into a plasmid, and then the bacteria produces or produce mass productions of the gene for human consumption. Now, if you can take genes and put them in bacteria, why can't you do that with plants? So, ibig sabihin, kung sa living organism, sa animals, nangyayari nga yan, definitely, pwede rin gawin sa mga plants. So, ito po yung ilang mga examples na ginagawa na ngayon ng genetic engineering technology. Most probably, ng mga farmers. The bacteria DNA, halimbawa dun sa strawberry problem, yung bacteria DNA can be inserted in embryonic plant cells. If they take up the DNA, they will produce the gene. Halimbawa ito, soy and corn insect-resistant crops, tangerine and grapefruit tangelo ang magiging result. Firefly and tobacco, magkakaroon ng glowing tobacco. So, ito po yung nangyayari sa plant cell transformation. through recombinant plasmid. So, meron po kayo ditong recombinant plasmid. Ito po yung DNA, cellular DNA ng Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Iko-combine mo dito sa plant cell colonies. So, once i-combine mo yan, magre-reproduce ng magka-transform yung plant from one form to another. So, transform bacteria into plasmid. So, ito yung bacteria po natin. Ito po yung gene to be transferred through recombinant plasmid. So, pinagsama po natin yung cell, yung ating recombinant, and na-transform, na-reproduce. Inside the plant cell, Agrobacterium insert part of the DNA into host cell chromes. Ito na po yun. And ito po yung complete plant is generated from transformed cell. May pang video dito. Ito. Panoorin po natin ito. So ito po ay kung paano nangyayari yung genetic engineering. Yan, wait lang . So of the leaf color of flower petals, high flower colors. Ito po yung code po natin. So doon tayo sa enzyme restriction lang kukuha. Ng part ng gene na gusto po nating i-alter. Halimbawa po itong humulin na ginagamit ng mga as insulin for human injection base po sa research. Kakat ka dito ng gene from human DNA, nag-cut. And then, i-insert yung gene na yun sa bacterium plasmid. Katulad ng discussion po natin kanina, at magre-reproduce po yun para maging humulin. Okay? So much for that. Balik na tayo doon sa ating discussion kanina. So yan po yung plant cell transformation. Now, ano yung mga situations given as a benefit or risk in using genetic modified organism? So, lobat na po tayo. The aim of planting genetically modified organisms and its commercial use is to help improve farming methods efficiently and productively. So, nakakatulong itong genetic engineering, the use of genetic modified organism, nakakatulong. Modified organism, its commercial use para ma-improve yung methods, maging efficient yung productions ng mga farmers. Some of the most common crops are soybean, maize, cotton, canola, alfalfa, papaya, eggplant, potato, apple, safflower, pineapple, and sugarcane. So, nakakatulong sa production. Yung paggamit ng genetic modified organism, nakakatulong po siya. Ito yung magandang benefit. Nakakatulong eh. Genetically modified plants have created resistance to harmful agents and enhanced product yield and show increased adaptability for better survival. So, yung mga genetically modified plants, may resistance siya from harmful agents. Mga insects, ito po yung mga harmful agents yung mga insekto. So, nakaka-survive yung mga genetically modified plants from those insects. Kaya nakakatulong, mataas yung production sa mga genetically modified. So siguro hindi feel ng mga insekto kapag genetically modified plants kasi hindi nila inaatake. So by recombinant technology, which has been widely used in improving crop varieties, several transgenic or genetically modified organisms have been produced. So, through recombinant technology, marami na po yung mga genetically modified organism ang na-produce. Genetically modified organisms are also called transgenic organisms since genes are transferred from one organism to another. So, yung recombinant DNA technology playing a vital role in improving health conditions by developing new vaccines and pharmaceuticals. So, pwede pa. Kaya, di ba nga, itong COVID, iba sarit-saring studies ng mga biologists po natin, sa medicine, from different plants, ano yung pwedeng plant na pwedeng gawing vaccine para makatulong sa pag-resist ng bacteria, ng virus rather. So, ito po yung production of human insulin, yung pinakita ko po kanina. Ito po yung human cell, insulin gene na tinanggal dun sa DNA. Ito naman yung bacteria, ilalagay sa plasmid, recombinant plasmid. So, magproproduce ng transgenic bacteria and then will grow in culture tapos magiging extract insulin na. So, ginagawa na yan ng mga pharmaceuticals for insulin. The transfer of human gene to bacteria Escherichia coli aims to have mass production of human insulin to cure diabetes mellitus. Insulin gene is extracted from a human cell and spliced into a plasmid vector before inserted into bacteria cell. Ito po yung bacteria cell. The transgenic bacteria ito po yung transgenic bacteria, are selected and cultured to be able to increase its number carrying human insulin gene. The bacteria are harvested and purified and packed for human use. So ito na po yung cultured bacteria from insulin gene, human cell, saka yung bacteria combined to cure diabetes mellitus. Okay. The treatment or strategies are also improved by developing diagnostic kits, monitoring devices, and new therapeutic approaches. Synthesis of synthetic human insulin and erythropoietin by genetically modified bacteria, human growth which cures stunted growth, tissue plasminogen activator which dissolved blood clots among patients who had heart attack, transgenic pigs used to produce human hemoglobin. Human clothing factor have also been produced in the milk of transgenic goats. Production of farm animals to synthesize such as pharmaceutical products and the production of new types of experimental mutant mice for research purpose. Ito po yung list ng genetically modified organism. You have there yung purpose, yung plant, yung description. So first, the soybean. Isa sa mga genetically modified organism. Ang purpose, bakit nagkaroon ng GMO soybean? To herbicide tolerance. So description, glyphosate hybrid or Roundup tolerance conferred by expression of glyphosate tolerant form of the plant enzyme, etc. etc. So ito po yung description niya. Basahin nyo na lang po. Nakakabasa naman kayo. Another is corn. Ang purpose niya is insect resistance. So madali kasing pistihin yung mais. So nagkaroon ng GMO corn. Resistance to insect pests, especially the European corn or borer, through expression of the insecticidal protein. Yeah. Canola, altered fatty acid composition ang purpose niya. Ang description, high laurate levels achieved. So, ibig sabihin, maganda talaga yung nagagawa ng genetically modified organism. Yung plume, ang virus resistance naman yung plume. Resistance to flumepox virus conferred by insertion of coat protein or gene from the virus. Rice, vitamin enrichment naman yung purpose, bakit may GMO rice. 3 genes for the manufacture of beta-carotene, a precursor to vitamin A. Vaccine, ang tobacco naman, merong genetically modified tobacco for vaccine para sa hepatitis B virus surface antigen. To produce transgenic tobacco induces immune response when injected into mice. So maize or oral vaccine naman, fusion protein from Newcastle disease virus. So ito po yung ilan sa mga genetically modified organisms and their purpose and the descriptions. So kung titingnan po natin somehow by genetic engineering, yung significance of genetic engineering, making a GMO or genetic modified organisms is napaka-good yung kanyang result, positive yung kanyang result, helpful. Siyempre, sa genetic engineering, hindi rin mawawala yung controversials, di ba? Definitely, merong controversials yan. So, yung pag-aaral patungkol po sa mga controversials sa genetic engineering ay tinatawag na bioethics. Bioethics, it is the study of controversial ethics brought about by advances in biology and medicine. So, ito po yung pinaka-arbiter sa mga controversials sa advance ng biology and medicine. Bioethics is multidisciplinary. It blends philosophy, theology, history, and law with medicine, nursing, health policy, and the medical humanity. So ito po yung mga concerns ng bioethics in terms of history, in terms of medicine, nursing, theology, philosophy. So ito po yung concern ng bioethics. It is concerned with all the ethical questions that arises in the relationships among life sciences and the cited fields. Bioethics is commonly understood that refers the ethical implications and applications of the health-related life sciences, including biotechnology such as cloning, gene therapy, life extension, during stem cell, human genetic engineering. It promotes critic reflection about ethical conflicts which are caused by progressing in life science and medicine. So, syempre, right now or nowadays, nandyan na po yung advancement ng biology through genetic engineering. Nandyan na rin po yung advancement ng medicine by through biotechnology. So, nagkakaroon na ng extension yung life because of biotechnology. Nagkakaroon ng through the use of human genetic engineering, pwede nang hindi maging kulubot yung balat mo, di ba? So, but si bioethics, syempre nandyan siya to respond all the concerns, all the ethical questions that arises among the sciences, fields of sciences concerned for the study of bioethics. So much for that. Hopefully, itong ating presentation nakatulong po sa ating mga distance learners ng Earth and Life Science. Ito po ay lesson or module 24 and 25, genetic engineering and the benefits of genetically modified organism. So, happy learning. Thank you for watching this video.
Isa na namang napakaganda, napakahalagang konsepto ang ating natalakay sa araw na ito. Hopefully sa ating mga distance learners, grade 11 distance learners who are taking Earth and Life Science, nakatulong po sa inyo ang maiksi video na to. Marami pong salamat sa panunood. Huwag mong kalimutang i-hit ang subscription button at ang notification bell on. Thank you and God bless. Happy learning everyone.